Yeah. Here, there's another. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is good to be with you on this beautiful evening with the light projecting in. It is only matched by the light that is projecting out. That comes from having two nervous brides and two nervous grooms who are about to take their place under the chuppah. Well, it is good to celebrate together these moments, and it is extraordinarily good to do it amidst a community in which we find comfort, in which we find warmth, not just because it is so warm outside, but it is warm because of all of us. And we share in days such as these and the goodness that comes. And I am delighted to greet and to share the bima with Wendy Cohen this evening. It is always good to share the bima with you, Wendy, and to bring in the Shabbat together.
Thank you, you too.
And so we are going to begin our service with the singing of Lecha Dodi, which is an extraordinarily appropriate hymn for us to be singing this evening as we greet the Sabbath bride, or should I say brides. Shabbat Shalom.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet zalitila Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha u'bzola Toch emunei am segula Boi kala Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela.
Hopefully our hearts and our minds and our spirits are warmed up as we continue our Shabbat service. Let's pray responsively on the top of page 5. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise. For the peace in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For all these, we give thanks to the Creator of life and nature.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, u'v'zman kariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam ulam me'amaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yithaleh, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha barichu, li'elamim kol birchata, v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yama v'imaru. Amen.
We turn the page and rise for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach, Hamevorach leolam va'ed.
The Ma'ariv Aravim praises the ultimate creator who is constantly renewing creation, and for that we are grateful. So we pray together in Hebrew on page 6. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzevaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. On the top of page 8. One and only God, you have made each of us unique and formed us to be united in one family of life. Be with us, Eternal One, as we seek to unite our lives with your power and your love. We proclaim now your oneness and our own hope for unity. We acclaim your creative power in the universe and in ourselves, the law that binds world to world and heart to heart. We declare now at the bottom of page 8 the watchword of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty, forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated as we continue with V'ahavta on page 9.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your soul and with all of your might. Hold on tight as you go, teach them what you know. Teach them as they grow. Teach them so they know. Teach them so they know.
On the bottom of page 10, we find words of Mi Chamocha, the most ancient prayer perhaps that we have, the most ancient song. Of course, it's a song that celebrates the freedom of our ancestors, and it's a song that celebrates our freedom, and it's a prayer, too, for all the freedom that is yet to be attained. Let's sing together on page 10.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושי פלא. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea to sing to you with songs of joy, who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osei felan.
Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, God, who made us to be free. On the bottom of page 11. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise.
V'shamaru v'nei Yisrael et ha-shabbat lasot et ha-shabbat v'dorotam berit olam beni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam. Sheishat yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayina.
Please rise.
Ashyanananananana Adonai. Yananananana svatai tiftach. Yananananana ufi agid tehilatecha. Yananananana Adonai. Yananananana svatai tiftach. Yananananana ufi agid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham v'Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Ha'kol, V'zocher Chastei Avot, V'imahot, U'mevii Geulah Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Saram, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol, Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim, Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato למרות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום חסלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated as we continue on page 14. There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know. There is holiness when we are kind to someone who cannot possibly be of service to us. There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us. There is holiness when we are willing to be laughed at for what we believe in. There is holiness when we love, truly, honestly, and unselfishly. There is holiness when we remember the lonely and bring cheer into dark corners. There is holiness when we share our bread, ideas, and our enthusiasm. There is holiness when we gather to pray to God, who gave us the power to pray. Modim anachnu lach she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magen yeshenu ata hu lador vador. We pray together on the top of page 15. O God of Israel's past, O God of this day, God of all flesh, creator of all life, we praise you, the Most High, for the gift of life we give thanks, O source of good, that life endures. Eternal and infinite one, help us to use our life for blessing, to live by your law, to do your will, to walk in your way with a whole heart. We thank you, eternal God, for the blessing of life. We continue now on the bottom of page 15, praying together words of Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tatzim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tatzim leolam. Ki ata hu melech hadon l'chol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech hadon l'chol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tatzim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tatzim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tatzim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tatzim leolam. Tatzim leolam. Tatzim leolam.
It's appropriate that we pause now and think about that which is in need of wholeness. And we are between the prayer for peace and for shalom, that prayer for wholeness, as we move towards the prayer for wholeness and healing for individuals. But it's also important for us to pause in a moment such as this and think about our world, and think about our country, and think about the news that came through the airwaves late last night when we heard about the Capital Gazette and those who perished due to the anger and the hatred that exists within our world. There's a great deal of uncertainty in America's future. We live in challenging times, times in which we might be feeling helpless in the face of a changing landscape of what is normal or just. And it has been somewhat of a taboo phrase to say hopes and prayers, but when hope and prayer spur us to action, when it is the articulation of our most hoped-for aspirations, then our prayers may not be in vain. I'd like to invite you to turn in our Siddur to page 258. That's page 258 as we pause for a moment and say a prayer for our nation, a prayer for our country. That's page 258. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry, and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. Let us read together. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. May these prayers inspire us to action, and tomorrow we have the opportunity to pray with our feet at the Milwaukee Families Belong Together protest that is taking place at 12:30 in front of the doors of the 411 building in East Wisconsin on the west side of Jefferson Street between Wisconsin and Michigan Avenue. We'll then walk over to the office of Senator Johnson in the federal building to join the protest. Rabbi Rachel and I will be there with our children, and we'll make sure that our representatives know that we believe that it is unacceptable to separate children from their parents for the crime of seeking a better life and heading to the light of liberty. Also, our congregation is working to sponsor a refugee family in Madison. And on the sign-up Genius, if you go to the last email that was sent out by Congregation Shalom, there is an opportunity for you there's a list of things that we need in order for this family to feel comfortable in their homes in Madison. We are almost complete with all of the things that people need, like dishes and couches and furniture. But if you would like to take a look and see if there's anything that you can contribute to this family that is coming to America for a better life, please consider doing so. And also, at the Hunger Task Force, on July 5th, we're doing a sort. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can contact Jim Ross, and you can also check your email for that too. These are ways in which we not only articulate our prayers and our hopes, but we also take action to make the world better. When I think of what Shalom represents, what Congregation Shalom represents, and what the word represents, a concept of peace and wholeness, I often think of the beautiful tree that stands behind us and the light that comes through it. And the mosaic that we see is made up of broken glass, and yet when it's together, it represents something that is beautiful. And it's true that our world sometimes seems broken, yet when we come together as a community, we can bring more light. There are others who are in need of light within our community, those who might be in need of refuat hanefesh or a refuat haguf, a healing of body or a healing of spirit. And particularly in our community, we are thinking of Hannah Chaya Bat Fruma, Barbara Cohen, Shamel Bat Freda Malka, Barry Brown, Max Beckert, Charlene Petlin, Shirley Graham, Ryder Fell, Alicia Shimon Ben David, Colton Kelly, Phyllis Slav, and David Goldstein, Moshe David Ben Yaakov Yitzchak, Michelle Ray, Joel Zoller, Keith Mandel, Marion Winston, Henry Knecht, Mel Altman, Shoshana bat Herschel Vabedi, Devorah bat Avraham Vasara, Steve Toplinsky, Marlene Eichelbaum, Ethan Kaddish, Rabbi Richard Levy, Mark Bloom, Nissan Chaim Ben Ziva Vazamin, Laura Bublitz, Keturah Bublitz, Ari Bublitz, Herb Rosen, Jeanette Rosen, Melody Orblay, Stephen McGlowski, Jamie Schneider Fintz, Zelig Ben Avraham V'Yehudit, Jeanette Bolis, Ken Pitterly, Mark Lemke, Diego Solis, Bart Goldstein, Tammy Rogan, Michael Ben Alta, Sarah Acker, Tovi Al Chesed Ben Sarah Avraham, Mark Gerskovich, Steve Young, Doreen Sager, Patty Orr, Lynn Wallen, Gene Robertson, Zachariah Ben Eliezer, Frank Evans, Vicky Anoff, Adela Bat Gittel, David Goldstein, Harleen Hoffman, Barry Bruskin, Julie Borokoff, Rachel Raven Borokoff, Marcia Diamond, Chris Gould, Suzanne Salitra, Linda Hooper, Jordan Levin, Sharon Rotman, Rabbi Gavi Ruit, William Soralski, Panina Bat Panina, Michael Felber, Michelle Felber, Siegel Felber, Anita Gerson, Baruch Lader, Ben Esther, and Rick Bernstein. If there are names to be added to this list, I invite you to hold those names in your heart as we turn to sanctified words of holiness, as we recite the words of Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor Habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mikor Habracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
The tradition of breaking a glass at the end of a wedding ceremony is one that has many explanations, particularly because the tradition that we do is actually older than the explanations that we have. So there are many explanations. Probably the most famous and well-known is that when the temple was destroyed, that marked a moment in our history that was so profound that even at our happiest moments, we think of that sadness. But in particular, I have always felt that it represents that in a world that we see that is at best broken, that a couple, that two can find a sense of wholeness and holiness together. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Balak, and in it we find the prophet Balaam who looks down, this foreign prophet that looks down upon the Israelites as they're wandering through the wilderness and sees these tents that exist out there. And these tents are beyond them. We probably believe that they were of meager means at the time, having been slaves in Egypt and now dwelling in the wilderness. And the prophet Balaam looks down and says, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, your sanctuaries, O Israel. And our rabbis have asked the question for generations, what was it that he saw? What was it that Balaam saw when he looked down? And there have been many, many explanations. But one that I find most moving is that he was looking upon chuppah, that he was looking upon wedding canopies, and could see that there was goodness and a future of beauty in front of this people. So Joel and Susan and Rusty and Steve, would you ascend to our chuppah? And Rabbi Shapiro, if you would join me under the chuppah, and Rabbi Rachel as well. Joel and Susan and Rusty and Steve, standing under this beautiful tent with the echo of Balaam's words, we cannot help but think about how they apply to the four of you. For the homes in which this tent represents are truly filled with beauty and splendor, and this sanctuary, symbolic of our congregational community, is a place in which you have found fulfillment, where you have found an expression of your talents and passions. It too has benefited from your leadership and your thoughtfulness, and greatest of all reflections is that the four of you became friends here. And as you devoted yourselves to making your community, our community, better and stronger, it's not a surprise that you became fast friends. But what is a surprise is the discovery that the stars were so aligned that you married on the same day in the same year 50 years ago. That is truly beshert. The Rama writes that there's a custom to have the canopy, the chuppah, outdoors under the stars. For this is a simintov, a good omen, for the couple to have as many children as the number of stars in the sky. But it's for that reason that I'd like to invite all of your stars, your children and grandchildren who are present, to come forward and surround you now, just like the stars in heaven. Come on up. All of you bring tremendous light to the lives of these dear four people. And those who are here from that are shining from a distance send their love and their light to you too. Now there's a funny thing about light. It travels fast. And yet when we see light, we know it emanates from well before. When we see light, particularly the light of stars, we know that we are looking into memory. And there was great light that was kindled in your lives over 50 years ago when you met your partners, your re'im ahuvim, your loving companions, and began your lives together. In that light, Joel and Susan have memories of first being fixed up on a blind date and beginning a relationship in Madison when Joel was a senior and Susan a freshman. Spending time at Pino's Pizza in Bascom Hall, and proposing in front of Abe Lincoln, and perhaps Abe Lincoln is standing. He's rising at this very moment in tribute to the two of you. And Rusty and Steve, in that light, you remember that Hillel mixer at University of Michigan, in which Rusty's friends told her before she went, "You might meet your husband there." And Steve recalls seeing that young lady dressed in red, with a spirit as boundless as the sun dancing. And later that night, telling his fraternity brothers he met the woman he was going to marry. And you even wrote a story that night about the lady in red, and lady in the red dress. And perhaps seeing Rusty in that red dress was like seeing the sun rise and ascending. What I found particularly moving in talking with each of you alone is that each of you looks at your loving partner and you see light. When Joel looks at Susan, he sees a woman who is extraordinarily caring, with a deep and abiding concern for all. Her desire to help, to care, and to give makes him truly admire her. And Susan, the care you place in your family as a devoted mother and grandmother and wife fills him with love for you, always caring about the details, large and small. The two of you are always standing side by side, yet looking out at a world filled with people that both of you care for and care to make better and more whole, because together you two are better and more whole. And Rusty, I will. And when Susan looks at Joel, good thing, she sees the light. She sees the most kind and patient person in the world. With gentle care, she watches him approach the world with tender care. She thinks you are smart and committed and a good person, a great father, and the best grandfather. You share values. You share a desire to run around and have fun, and a love and respect for the families that you both hold dear. Your desire to make the world better manifested in your shared passion for the two shaloms in your life, the Naples shalom and Milwaukee's shalom. And I know both shaloms are so grateful for all the goodness that you bring. You both look forward to the light that will come, the special shared times together. And both of you commented on how you feel so fortunate. It's truly a blessing to find two who love and adore each other. And when Rusty looks at Steve, she sees that light. She sees a man who is always thinking of her and putting her first, a man who is a provider and husband and great dad and grandfather. And Rusty told me that life with you, Steve, is always so exciting. And after your long and wonderful career, she is delighted in that newfound joy in life that has grown even more vibrant and fulfilling during this time. And when Rusty looks at you, she sees the man she adores and wants to tell you 1,000,000 times a day. And Rusty, it's clear that Steve sees that light in you. He sees that inexpressible spirit, the vivaciousness and love of life, and the soul that he loves. When he first met you, he saw the beauty but didn't know the depths of caring, the values, the desire to make the world better that underpins your very being, for you are his soulmate. He loves being with you to spend your days in contentment and happiness, and when he sees you, his spirit still lights up. And as a mother and grandmother, he admires and loves how you know how important parenting is and the amazing way that you show your family your devotion and love. Gazing on the light that emanates from the four of you and the family and the friends and community that surround you from near and far tonight, how can we not gaze upon this chuppah and not say, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, how lovely are your tents, O Jacob, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, your sanctuaries, people of Israel. The light emanates before you, and may all of your tomorrows be filled with the light that comes from within and without. Continue to share those times of joy and times of togetherness and friendship. Fill your weeks with the commitment to make the world better. Enjoy the continued journey of togetherness and homes filled with laughter and peace. May you ever remain re'im ahuvim as you care for each other, share together, and love each other. May the eternal God bless you, and may you see the goodness of these 50 years and the 50 to come, the goodness of Yerushalayim each and every day of your life together. And may you bask in the fulfillment of having had the privilege to see not only your children, but your children's children playing at your feet and living a life dedicated to the values that you hold dear. And let us say, Amen.
So now we bless you. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors. Bless these couples and this, the 50th anniversary of their marriage. May you reflect with deep gratitude upon the years that have passed. Many and varied have been your experiences since that moment. May you recall the joys that have sweetened your lives. May you be thankful for the strength that allowed you to weather the storms. God, you have been with these couples through all their years together, so may you continue to bless them with your presence in the years to come, to which we all say, Amen.
And if you would take your hands and place them on the rings of your loving partner, or the ring fingers, and repeat these words after me, saying them to each other. Ani lidodi vidodi li. And if you would read the words that are in front of you now.
I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. God of all generations, we give thanks for the blessings that have graced our marriage, and we reflect upon the day of our union with thankfulness. May this joy be with us always, our way of life, loving and good, as we help each other bear burdens and share joys. Let these years of health and contentment, of unclouded happiness in the circle of our family and loved ones, of unbroken service of love and caring to those who are far and those who are near. Amen.
Thank you. Well, Susan and Joel, Rusty and Steve, we've known each other a lot of these years, and 50 years represents jubilee, jubilation over the joy and the splendor that you've given to your families and your friends. All of us are your friends, and we've always appreciated and adored you. And so thank you for asking me to be a part of this. And Rabbi Noah asked if I would chant the 7b04121b, the 7 blessings, which you heard, I am sure, 50 years ago, and probably memorized them. So you can join me if you want. The first blessing, of course, is over the wine, which we come back to, and then you'll be able to share the sweetness of the vine, the joy that comes from love and caring. But also it represents creation. And look at the families that have come from you. When you think about creation, it's not only children, but it's the goodness inherent within them, and grandchildren. And I've known you for a long time, and remember the Pearl family, and the Pittleman family, and the Hancher family, and the Moffick family. And think about your parents and all of your dear ones gone from life who are shining down upon you because of the joy that you have brought to each other and to all of us. And may it always continue. So I'm going to chant these 7 brachot. It's been chanted for thousands of years. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagofen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol hara bidvaro Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer ha'adam Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yitzar et Adam b'tzalmo b'tzelem demutav nito v'hitkin lo mimenu binyad adei Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer ha'adam sostasis, which means you should be joyous. V'tagel ba'ahara b'kibutz banecha letocha b'simcha Baruch atah Adonai misameach Tzion b'vanecha tzamea tetzamach re'im ahuvim kitzamechacha yitzircha began Eden mikedem Baruch atah Adonai misameach atan im hakala.
And if each of you would, Joel and Steve, if you would take the cup with both hands, and Susan and Rusty, if you'd place your hands over theirs, and first drink for Steve and Joel, and then for Rusty and Susan. As you drink this wine, may your lives continue to be accompanied by sweetness and holiness each and every day of your lives together. And let us say, Amen. Amen.
So I've never sung this song before, but I was told that it was Steve's favorite. Now, you can't compare me with Frank Sinatra, please. And if you know this song, Always, which Inscribed within is the kind of love and the joy that each of you bring to each other, but always the promise, and this is covenantal, that you make a commitment to each other, and you had 50 years ago, that you always promise these sources of love to each other. I'll be loving you always with a love that's true, always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just the years, but always. Days may not be fair, always. That's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not a year, but always. Good taste, Stephen.
We have the right Rabbi Sinatra singing. And now if all of the children and grandchildren, if you'd like to just place your hands gently on your grandparents or parents' shoulder, and all of the clergy that are up here, we have the opportunity to bless you with the threefold benediction of our people. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May God let his countenance shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God always smile upon you and bless you with God's choicest of blessing, the blessing that you're surrounded with right now, of shalom, of peace and wholeness. And let us say, Amen. Siman tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and siman tov, siman tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and siman tov, siman tov and mazel tov and siman tov. Yeh lanu, yeh lanu, yeh lanu. And now I'd like to invite all of you who are still up here to come forward and open up our ark doors as we rise and turn in our Siddur back to Aleinu. And Aleinu can be found on page
18.
Oh, if the Piddlemans and Mofficks, if you would come back up, you have to open up the ark doors. No recessional.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tevidu l'iltzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyeh haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam k'alkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך
Please be seated. On page 19, we ponder the past, we think about the future. Where have we been? Where are we now? What is the connection? What heritage did I receive from my parents? What will I bequeath to my children? What gifts have I received from my brothers, my sisters, my friends? What can I give to others? Where does my people, my community fit into my life? If I can make someone's life better, I will not regret the past. If I can help someone grow, I will not fear the future. Oh God, let me make some mark on this world. Let me create some image. Let me leave some memory of myself. If only, even for an instant, let me think or say, the world is better because I passed this way. As we turn to page 20 and prepare to recite words of Kaddish Yatom, of Mourner's Kaddish, we think, of course, of those who have passed in recent days. We're in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, for Vicky Anoff, Eric Cohn, and Eugene Marcus. We're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Nora Bertucci, Howard Paley, and Ashley Pindyke. We recall, too, those who have died in this season at years gone by. We lovingly remember Arlene Altman, Ethel Atinsky, Morris Berger, Stanley Bernstein, Ben Bodner, Marvin Bruderson, Rachel Cash, Sam Channon, Lillian Saralski, Milton Saralski, Jean Cohen, George Diamond, Maris Dougherty, Pearl Epstein, Eva Frazen, Celia Gendlin, Michael David Goldberg, Shirley Green, Sidney Grossman, Vivian Hurst, Alan Kagan, Mark Katz, Q. Gary Knopo, Lionel Lambert, Max Laufer, Milton Levy, Louis Levine, Richard Morris, Patricia Nolte, Dean Olson Sr., Bertha Rotman, Toby Sattler, Noah Norman Shapiro, Rose Siegel, Jerry Silverman, Henry Skurnick, Barrett Stern, Milton Soref, Howard Swernoff, Armin Kenneth Taus, John Van Osh, Lorette Warshow, Arlene Wasserman, Anna Weinberger, Murray Weinstein, Mary Wolfe, Jack C. Young, and Edward Irving Zine. If I have mispronounced any of these names, or if you have a name of a loved one that you wish to share, please do so as my hand passes in your direction. We rise now as one congregation as we praise God with words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 20. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, bialma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chaye chon uvyome chon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mivorach leolam olamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barichu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bialma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. Please be seated. It is an honor to invite our brand new president, Beth Silver, forward for some words of Shabbat greeting and announcement.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for being here tonight. Mazel tov to Rusty and Steve and Susan and Joel. Tell us your secrets of success. And it's an incredible marriage milestone. Holy moly. And thank you to the Piddlemans and to the Mofficks for sponsoring tonight's special oneg. Shabbat continues tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with Torah study. And then at 10 o'clock, we have our community worship service in Kesselman Chapel. And then tomorrow, a special luncheon in honor of Rusty and Steve. They're sponsored by Rusty and Steve in honor of their anniversary. As mentioned, tomorrow afternoon, our rabbis will be participating in a day of action with Milwaukee's chapter of Families Belong Together. I'm sure they would love to see many faces joining them and their children. The office will be closed on Wednesday, the 4th of July, so hopefully enjoy a nice sunny day and a parade. Next Friday night, July 6th, is our second in our Summer Evenings a Musical Kaleidoscope series. This concert will feature the mandolin group, the New Vintage Frets. And Rabbi Jen will be there, I hope, and she plays the mandolin. Maybe we can get her to improvise. So services are at 6 and the concert is at 8. If you didn't pre-order dinner, that's okay. Just bring your own brown bag dinner. Lots of people do. And that is next Friday, the 6th. The food sort Shabbat. We need you, the food sort at the Hunger Task Force. We need you to sign up by the 5th, but it's actually taking place on the 12th of July. So if you want to come and help sort food to get Jim Ross over that million pound mark, that will be July 12th, but do sign up this week. As always, we have Minyan Monday through Thursday at 5:45. And last thing, to revisit the idea of helping this refugee family. On the e-blast, there's a link, and it's really easy. You can just go in like a wedding registry and say, I'll buy a dish rack or a mattress pad or something to really make a family feel welcome in their new country. So please take a look at that. The last day to participate is July 6th. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
We're going to call on the Mofficks and the Piddlemans again to come forward as we think about lighting our Shabbat candles. Of course, you bring so much light, not only into each other's lives and not only to our congregation, but really to the entire world. For those following along, we're on page 21.
21.
As the day becomes night. Together? As the day becomes night, the velvet cloak of darkness descends, enveloping us in its warmth.
We snuggle into its folds, eyes closed, breathing deeply. We feel at peace. We feel the cares and the worries of the day fall away, leaving quiet, contentment, serenity.
We see, even with eyes closed, 2 small pinpoints of light drawing us close, causing us to feel a warmth inside as well as out. We smile and embrace them as we do each week, as our ancestors did, as our children will do each week.
Ruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu, hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, v'tzivanu, v'hadlik ner, v'tzivanu, v'tzivanu, v'hadlik ner, vitsivanu, behaglich der Shel Shabbat.
I invite everyone to please rise as our grooms lead us in Kiddush.
2, 3. Baruch Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafen. Baruch Amen.
L'chaim. We remain standing for our closing hymn.
A song for peace. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu.
So if you are celebrating a 50th anniversary, you too can have a wedding on the Bima during services at Congregation Shalom. But we close now as we turn to our final blessing on Shabbat, and that is a blessing that comes when you turn to somebody next to you and you wish them a Shabbat Shalom. It is a blessing that can come with a hug, a kiss, or a handshake, because you know it's appropriate and you know who you came with. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
You knew the prayer as little as I did.
No, I knew that.
I didn't want to risk it because I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you.
Well, I couldn't hear it because I got my hearing aid for like distance.
It was so my pleasure. I had a moment of panic because I was like, oh, God, I have to wait this after doing just your part. Oh, I know. You couldn't find it.
Just doing it.
Reminds me, always number your pages.
Oh, I made that mistake too. Oh, it was just beautiful. It was just so memorable. You have to wait another 50 years to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you do.
Yes.
So that's what I wanted to say.
That people to celebrate in this.
Well, this is so nice. Honestly, this just made Shabbat so beautiful. In a week that is kind of so beautiful. This day is so special. Thank you. Yeah. Do you believe it? It's pretty amazing.
Really, it's like
It's a Bashert moment. So Bashert.